Love.
Thanks a
Cheers.
lot,
Bye-bye.
bye.
I'll do to our final caller before the melodic moment, and that is Philip.
Hi, Al.
How do?
Alan.
Yes.
I bought this radio and the aerial snapped on it.
And aerials don't just snap.
Well,
they don't just suddenly go click.
A speaker fell on it.
Well, it would snap if a speaker
And
fell.
so I took it to the shop, which I bought it from, and they said it cost me £5. And when they got it replaced, he took the old aerial off that had snapped and said, it'll also cost you £10 for me to put it on. But he didn't tell me this at the time he took the old aerial off. And the new aerial actually cost £9. What can I do about this?
Have they put it on?
Yeah, you have to put it in through the inside.
I asked you whether they put it on, how he did it, I don't care.
Yeah,
so they put this aerial on.
Yeah.
But you were going to have it put on anyway, weren't you?
Yeah. But they didn't tell me the service charge would cost £10, and neither did they tell me that they'd have to put it on through the inside.
Well, tell them you're not paying then.
Well, they put it on.
Well, tell them you're not paying. It's not your fault it's on. Just say I'm not paying you. I didn't want it putting on. Take it off again.
I have to take it off.
Put me own one back
If they take it off, they can't put the old one back without me paying a service charge, can they?
Of course they can. It's their fault. They shouldn't have done the work. They didn't ask you whether you should do the work. Did you tell them you wanted it putting on? Did you tell them you wanted it putting on?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to pay to have it put on.
But they didn't
Give
tell
them
me
the
it
money.
cost you
Stop
£10.
whinging. Give them the money for crying out loud. Well, don't give them the money. I don't care either way. What does it matter? Melodic moment time. One of my favourites. Scritti Politti and the Word Girl. I do like Barbara Dixon. It's a shame she's married, and happily married too, because I've been in love with her for yonks. I've never heard this, I don't think. It's Atlantic Star and Secret Lovers. A lot of them about. Well, it's not bad. I've never heard it before, and I'll probably hear it again, because it is rather tasty. Kiki D never really made it anywhere, did she? But Amarus is not a bad little tune. I was talking French on the telephone tonight. It was ever so difficult. Wunderbar. Preston 561,000 if you want to join us on the phone in. Should Rod ever return to the studio, he'll answer the phone to you. It's now yes, and you. It's now 10 minutes to 1. Preston 561,000. We'll be taking calls once again fairly soon. Before then, we've got the Catholics' anthem, The Rhythm of the Night.
Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
How do, Andy?
Alright, Alan.
Hello.
Well, I'd like to talk about these MPs that have been asking for a pay rise.
Go on.
Well, if it does go through, if it comes about like it's expected to, I'd just like to say how much it shows how two-faced MPs are and politicians are.
Why are they two-faced, or in what way are you suggesting they are?
Well, they're always saying to all other workers, like, you know, they should be content with what they've got and not, you know, like, not ask for ridiculous pay rises because it'll bugger up the economy and all that lot. But
well, we have to then consider whether the pay rise they've asked for is ridiculous. When did they get their last pay rise?
well, I'm not sure about that, but considering that most other industries after pay rises, say 6% or something like that, they're asking for, I think, 20%.
Yes, but if they get... I mean, I'm not suggesting this is the case, but if they get 20% once every 35 years, it won't be much, will it?
Well, true, no, but...
So what we need to know is when they last got a pay rise, because the percentage increase they get, if they get 20% per annum, they're going to be doing quite well in 5 years' time. But if they get 20% every time Parliament meets, they'll be doing extremely well by the end of the year. If they get 20% every time there's a new government, well, they might not be doing that well. It'll only work out at 5% per year on a very simplistic mathematical basis. And when you consider the role they perform, we have to surely have people who can either afford to do the job or who are paid for the job.
Well, they're on
fairly high money as it is.
Well, tell me how much they're on.
I think I heard it said the other night they're on about 25 grand a year.
25 grand?
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of money, but it's not really. What does a house cost in London?
About 50.
No, it doesn't. A terraced house in London costs 50. My poker little terrace you'd need about 45, 50,000 to buy that. And then they've got to have a house in their constituency.
Mm.
So that's 2 houses they've got to buy.
Fair enough,
You see, if we don't pay members of parliament properly, we end up with dilettantes, don't we? We end up with people who can afford to do it but aren't much good. We end up with millionaires and the like, rather like councils. Councillors don't get paid, so you've either got to be fairly well off, or else you've got to be kept by somebody else, because the council doesn't pay you, generally. So it means councils are predominantly either middle-class housewives whose husbands have got good jobs and can afford for their wives not to be working, or they're self-employed people who can afford to take a bit of time off their work every now and then, which means you exclude a very large proportion of men. You exclude young people with families because they're too busy trying to make ends meet. So it's right that they're paid properly, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. It's just...
Good, it's all right. Yes, I suppose so. We'll settle for.
You have been Beswick.
And so easily. It's news time.
The 1 o'clock news, this is Therese Birch. The American warships guarding 2 Kuwaiti tankers flying under the US flag should be approaching the Straits of Hormuz about now. It's thought the convoy started its 550-mile run up the Gulf to Kuwait shortly after darkness fell. As they pass through the narrow straits, they'll come within range of Iran's shore-based Silkworm missiles. The US warships have been ordered to retaliate if attacked, but Iran's delegate at the United Nations, Rajai Khorassani, is warning that this American build-up in the Gulf can only lead to trouble.
We believe that it can lead to a very serious hostile action against the Islamic Republic of Iran. And if, by any chance, any target is recognized as legitimate by the Islamic Republic of Iran, we will definitely attack that target, regardless of whose flag that target is carrying.
The chairman of British Coal, Sir Robert Haslam, is being urged to bill Yorkshire for the wave of strikes that hit the coalfields. The cost of the dispute, which started at Frickley Colliery, is being put at well over £5 million. Nottinghamshire MP Andy Stewart says it was their strike, so they should pick up the tab.
The dispute obviously has implications for the coal industry in general, and the losses that's already incurred in Yorkshire causes me concern that British Coal, and I will be making representation to the chairman, that those losses are not reflected across the industry. If there has to be any reduction in investment because of this, it's reflected in Yorkshire.
It's been revealed that Sheffield solicitor Ian Wood, who's admitted shooting his lover Danielle Lloyd and her 2 children when their relationship broke down, lavished thousands of pounds worth of jewels on his girlfriend during the good times, Alma Cooper reports.
After Ian Wood left his wife and family to live with Danielle, he gave her a diamond and ruby engagement ring costing over £800. Later came a pair of matching earrings worth £750 and, to complete the set, a £1,500 necklace. But Sheffield Crown Court heard that despite duping clients out of thousands of pounds to pay for the good life, it wasn't all a bed of roses for the couple. And when the pressure became too much for Wood, he resorted to killing, claiming it was all part of a love pact. The trial continues. Alma Cooper, IRN, Sheffield.
Samantha Fox, the Page 3 pin-up turned pop star, says people will soon see whether or not she's pregnant. The 21-year-old millionairess says she's glad to have given up modelling, but feels she's being unfairly criticised for her success. The busty singer is denying press reports that she's about to get married.
No, I'm not actually.
Single girl?
Yeah, look, no engagement ring.
Princess of Wales hounded constantly. Is she or is she not pregnant? What about you?
Oh, me? You'd have to ask my lawyer. Not that he's my husband, but no, everything really at the thing what the News of the World did is all in the hands of a lawyer at the moment, and you'll soon see.
Independent Radio News.
Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
And, of course, the telephone number remains the same, and that is Preston 561000. Lines are currently engaged. No doubt will remain that way for about the next hour, but we're here till 2 anyway. How do, Sharon?
Good evening, Alan. I'd like to tell you a joke, if I may.
We don't normally allow people to tell jokes once they've telegraphed them like that, but as you're female, and as I like the sound of your voice, and you sound a bit of cracker, go on.
Thanks. Well, there was a young girl, and she'd only just got married. And she'd only been married a few weeks, and she noticed a rash in between her thighs. So she got very worried about this, so she went to the doctors. And she said, Doctor, she said, I'm awfully worried. She said, I've discovered a rash between my thighs.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like being on the dole?
No.
Neither do I, and I don't want to find out. Hey? What are you trying to do to me? This is my living, you know. It's not a game. This is it. This is how I feed me family and me world of friends and all me hangers on.
Well, there's no swearing in it, and there's nothing rude.
Well, it's pretty rude already, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it isn't.
Hey, rash on the promised land is hardly unrude, is it? Hey? Go on, let's hear the rest, see how far we can go.
And he had a look, and he said, you've only just got married, haven't you? She said, yeah. He said, is your husband a gypsy? And
now it's getting racist. I'm going to have to stop you now. Racist. Can't be doing with them. Sorry, love. Don't allow them. How do you, Mark?
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
All right.
Not really, no, but go on.
I want to talk about student grants. The previous caller that was on, when he was saying that students don't waste.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out I need, for next to nought indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cars and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road. In the market they call new, and over road the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices from the Newmarket and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
Today in the studio we have a representative from Macmillan Cars.
It's grand to welcome on the Sassenachs at Macmillan's, the new.
Quite.
And you'll never find a better motor car than an Audi.
Audi motor cars.
And Volkswagen, noch die machty again.
And you're saying that Macmillans are the best people in the area for Audi and Volkswagen?
You need to listen, lassie. Get yourself down there, they're grand cars.
Well, there you have the voice of the expert. Macmillan's Blackburn Road, Bolton, telephone 31464. They speak your sort of language.
Hey, language Lamric.
Hello there. I'm just having my HGV driving lesson with North Manchester HGV. They do hourly lessons and intensive courses to put you on the right road. If you're an HGV or PSV novice, for just £30 you can have a full 2-hour assessment, including licence and medical fee. Now, if you pass with them, they'll guarantee you a job interview. So, what are you waiting for? Ring North Manchester HGV Training Centre on Bolton 23235. That's Bolton 23235.
The Great Red Rose Radio Charity Nutty Night Out is at the Gin, that's Gin Square, Blackpool, on Thursday, July the 23rd. Come along and challenge our presenters on the pool table, throw darts at Allan Beswick's photo, and have a go at the crazy games and competitions. We start at 8, and the evening is one of our 7-Up party nights. There are plenty of 7-Up and Thwaites goodies to be won as well, and the whole night is in aid of the Winged Fellowship Trust, the charity which provides holidays for handicapped people in Lancashire. So don't forget the Red Rose Nutty Night Out at the Gin in Blackpool on Thursday, July the 23rd.
Oh, what an atmosphere. I love a party with a happy...
How do, Mark? Mark's gone. How do, Alistair?
Good evening, Alan. I'd like to talk about student grants, if I may.
Go on.
Well, the gentleman that was on about 12:30 was talking what a great life students have, spending all the grants and everything, I'd like to put a few points straight, if I may.
Let's hear them.
Well, for a start, not many students actually get grants, and while he was right in saying that they get the fees paid, they're paid straight by the local education authority and not from any money given to the student. Secondly, that any grant that a student does get, 9 times out of 10, gets spent directly on board, which is incredibly expensive for something that's normally a room with a sink and a cooker in. And that students on the whole, while there is a minority...
What is it they pass over the bar in the refectory?
Well, often...
What do they do there? Do they sell their bodies or something?
No, I'm not saying that, Alan, but...
Do they say, what is it then? Do they... I mean, it always looks and appears, to all intents and purposes, to be money.
Well, most students...
Is it or isn't it money?
Yeah, well, most students, if they do have any money, it either comes from the parents' pocket or what they've earned themselves. Very few have change from a grant to spend on drinks.
So you're telling me that if they don't get money off their parents, and if they don't have a job, they don't buy beer?
Basically, yes.
Balderdash. How do, Tom?
How do? I'd like to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Well, sort of like the caller before, who was talking about devil worshipping, he made it sound like the manuals that you got with the game actually told you how to call up demons, which is complete and utter rubbish, really.
Have you got one of these manuals?
Yeah.
Would you like to send me one?
Well, they're a bit pricey to send you, Mike. They're about a tenner each.
A tenner?
Yeah.
I shouldn't bother then.
What?
I shouldn't bother sending me one. Where can I get one from? Write and tell me where I can get one from.
Well, you can,
Don't tell me now.
shop in Blackpool and things like that.
Oh, you can go in the game shop and buy them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But he made it sound like you actually call up these demons with the books, and you just don't. It's a load of rubbish, really. Because all you do is you just sit around and you tell the game master, which is called a dungeon master in Dungeons and Dragons, you tell him that you are casting a spell to summon a demon, and he says, okie dokie, and this is what happens. You don't actually go for any rituals.
There's no ritual. You're not told the ritual by the book. Is there another book you can buy that would give you the ritual, that's part and parcel of the scheme, as it were?
Not in Dungeons and Dragons, not that I know of, and I've been playing it for, 6 or 7 years.
Why do you play it?
I don't know. It's completely childish, and, if you go out, I'm 19, and if you go out on the streets playing cowboys and Indians, people think you're a prat, but if you do it in the privacy of your own home, then nobody...
They don't know you're a prat.
Yeah.
You're still a prat, they just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll set them for that, I'm not going to argue with that. Right then, Tom, thank you.
Okay.
Ta-ra, Dungeons and Dragons, how to be a prat in secret. How do, Pete?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, that must have run about reincarnation.
That what?
That bloke.
That bloke, yes, go on.
He's got it all wrong.
Has he?
Yeah. It's, well, when I grew up, I got told it was this white stuff you put on fruits.
It's not bad, I suppose. How do, Sharon?
Good evening, Alan.
Good evening.
I believe there's 3 ways that you can change your name, either by deed poll, statutory declaration, or by putting an advert in a local paper.
No, that's not quite true.
Is
Yes,
it not?
deed poll. Yes, statutory declaration. You can also change your name by Act of Parliament, believe it or not. It's a somewhat cumbersome and expensive method. The other one, to which you allude with the advert in the newspaper, is actually called changing your name by repute. In other words, if your name is Sharon Smith, you can decide now that from here on in you will be known as Sharon Jones, and you don't actually have to do anything about it. Obviously, if you wish your medical documents to be in that name, you must write and tell them. If you wish to be employed in that name, you must write and tell the Inland Revenue, the DHSS and the National Insurance and the like, but you're under no obligation to. You can just simply change your name. That's called changing your name by repute. For that, you have to be over 18.
How old do you have to be if you do it by statutory declaration?
If you do it by statute, you also, to change your name voluntarily, you have to be over 18. To change the name of a minor, and I don't mean them that go on strike, I mean them that are under 18.
Yeah.
To change the name of a minor, you need permission of a court.
I see. So I've got to wait until I'm 18.
Yes.
Right.
Or get the permission of a court.
Yeah.
But why? I mean, you don't need to answer this if you don't want, but it's in order that I might be able to help you. How old are you now?
I'm 17 and I've still got my father's name. My mum was divorced when I was about 6.
Mm.
My father
And you don't want your father's name?
Well, he doesn't want anything to do with me, and he hasn't done
but
for
we're
about
not,
5
well, we
years.
don't want to know the reasons. It doesn't
No.
matter. You just don't want to use your father's name.
No.
What are you going to do? Revert back to your mother's maiden name, or?
No, a new married name.
A
And I
new-
just wondered if I could do it on my own by either statutory declaration or another way.
At the age of 17, you might as well do it. To be honest,
Yeah.
you might as well just say, right, and go to work tomorrow. Or, do you work?
No, I'm at sixth form.
You're at sixth form.
Yeah.
Well,
but I'm already known there as
the new name.
father. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say that most headmasters aren't bothered. If you want to go through the process of changing it administratively, then on your 18th birthday, write off to all the government departments with whom you have contact, and just tell them that from now on you will be Sharon whatever.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
it's as simple as that.
Thank you.
What I have got to tell you, and perhaps not for your benefit, Sharon, but certainly for other people's, if you owe £1,000 as Sharon Smith and you change your name to Sharon Jones, you still owe the £1,000. It's depressing, I know, but that's how it goes. All right.
I don't know anybody anyway.
I'm sure you don't, Sharon. You sound like a beautiful 17-year-old to me. Bye-bye. I'll do, Mark.
Now, I tell the Battle of Hastings, if I may, has happened in days long gone by, when Duke William became King of England, and Harold got shot in his eye. It were this way, one day in October.
You're reading this from a book.
I am not.
You've not written this.
I know I haven't.
Well, you're reading it...
I've learnt it.
Well, all right, but it's from a book.
I didn't learn it from a book.
I don't care where you learnt it from. I'm just trying to think of the name. Is it Mortimer
Holloway,
that published
was it?
these? Stanley Hollowell recited them. He didn't write them generally.
Oh, I learnt it off a record.
Is it the one with his horse and his orb in his
His
hand?
horse with his hawk in his
I
hand.
thought it was, yes. Well, unfortunately, we can't allow you to do it because you'll be breaching copyright.
Oh, I was just trying to bring a bit of culture to the
A bit of culture you might well like to do, but you're not getting culture when I get the bill. Sorry.
Right.
Copyright law. 40 words I think you're allowed to do. How do Ian?
Hello, Al.
Yep.
Talking about the troubles in Northern Ireland.
Go on.
I think it's about time the army was taken out.
Why?
Well, it hasn't stopped violence, has it?
There is a very strong argument that says it has reduced it considerably.
Well, it was well, I don't know if you heard about it on the news about the lad sent over there. He was there for the day. He was gone, like, wasn't he?
Well, yes, but that's his job.
Yeah, but I think they come out and let them sort it out amongst themselves.
But they won't sort it out. All that will happen, there will be a violent domination by one of the other. And that's not what it's about.
So you reckon the army should be there?
Well, the army at the moment is serving a peacekeeping role. They are not absolutely, totally successful, but they are extremely successful in that the streets are not running with blood, and I feel sure that they would be should the military personnel be removed.
No, I think I differ from you there, Al.
Well, the only reason you've given me at the moment for the soldiers being taken out is because some of them have been shot. Well, if we're going to have an army that isn't going to be allowed to go anywhere where they might get shot, there's not much point having them, is there?
No, but I think the trouble's gone on too long.
Well, this trouble has gone on too long. It's gone on for something like 1,000 years. But what do you suggest? It won't stop just because the army pulls out.
Well, I think it will, in the way that after a couple of months, the sides are going to get fed up with each other.
But they're not, are they? The Arabs and the Iranians and the Iraqis haven't managed to get fed up with her. The Arabs and the Jews haven't got fed up with each other. The Nicaraguan country is in turmoil. Korea's in turmoil. They don't get fed up with each other until they've destroyed the other side. Are you suggesting that we should save the lives of British soldiers and forfeit the lives of the women and children of Northern Ireland?
Well, surely.
Is that your suggestion? That's all I ask. Are you saying that a soldier's life is more important than that of a baby in Northern Ireland?
No.
But that's what's going to happen. They're not just going to kill individuals. We're going to go back to indiscriminate bombing, babies getting blown to bits. Do you say that's fine? It's only an Irish kid. It's not a proper human, is it?
No, I reckon that's totally wrong, like, yeah.
It's totally wrong, but it's going to happen. The soldiers are there preventing it. So, OK, the occasional soldier gets killed. Well, I'm sorry, and it's very depressing and it's sad and all that, but that's his damn well job.
Right, Al.
So do you think they should stay there?